Welcome to the Mischief. I'm Valen, and this is Vintage Story, Unearthed for 120. There we go. I am making even more barrels. Why? Well, I'm kind of thinking I'm going to make something that's going to last a little bit longer for my fruit consumption during the winter months. And that's going to be in the form of, well, alcohol. I've got a bunch of berry bushes that are over there that are just about ready to pick. Most of them actually are. And I'm going to take advantage of that. I'm going to leave this one as my rot/composting barrel. And I'll be using these ones for different juices or wines. As you can see here, we've got plenty of cranberry wine right now. And I plan on adding more to it, just because it goes really quick when you start drinking it. And I don't mean IRL, I just mean in the game. It doesn't last very long. There we go, gotta close that. So I'm gonna go grab some berries real quick, and then I'm gonna squeeze them. Now typically it's a lot smarter of me to have created some kind of fence or even a pit trap around these different things so that it will prevent things like raccoons from coming in here and getting the berries. But I really wasn't as concerned with it at the time. And I'm still not. I've got higher priorities to do. Maybe I can dig that out during the winter or something. But for now, I think I'm just going to leave it as is. Especially since it just kind of looks a little bit nicer that way. And if the local wildlife, oops, I need to go down, ends up wanting a little bit, then so be it. Alright, so let's start off with blueberries. That's not going to do much good there. I need to actually squeeze these in the fruit press. Alright, let's toss some blueberries in here. Actually, it's very dark in here, so let's start getting some light. There we go. I now have dry blueberry mesh, and I also have some of this. Let's actually, I need to undo the screw, take out the mash, and I can give that to the ram that's out there instead of some of the grass that I have. Maybe it'll like that. But now I can take this, and you'll see I just click in there, and it actually keeps much longer just in a juice form, so you could do this with 26.7 days. But I am going to turn it into a wine and still get some nutrition out of it. Not a lot, but some. And it will last a lot longer, as you can see here. This one's 4.9 years. Now in this case I have more than what will actually fit in there, so I might just use these 7 leftover cranberries for other foods. Maybe just make myself a little something to last in the meantime. And there we go. 10 dry cranberry mash, which I can take out. And then I can also grab the bucket and toss this in here. Now, as I already have cranberry wine, I could mix this once I've got it, you know, prepped and ready. But for now, it's still going to need 7 days for it to, well, ferment. There we go. I now have some space in here. I can put some of these. Now, it only takes 2 at a time. So if you have an odd number, you're going to have leftovers. But it makes excellent rot because it doesn't last very long. As you can see, it's only good for a day. So I'm just going to put all this in here, and maybe it'll make this bighorn boy a little bit happier. I don't know. Or maybe it'll just attract like a female into the local area, and then I can chase her into another pen. Now, it's not long since I accessed the tin bronze age, but I feel already compelled to move to the next level, and that would be iron. And as I've done a bit of prospecting, it means that some of the work is actually already done for me. So let's see, if I turn off my waypoints and I just keep the prospecting layer, heck, I can even turn off terrain if I want, but that's kind of useless. You can see we've got lots of different areas that I've prospect, and there's 3 different types of iron. Magnetite is one of them, and that's probably going to be one of the likelier ones for me. As you can see here, I've got 0.56. That's not really the best, but there might be others. Hematite is another one, and that actually has a very high rate over here. That might actually be worth exploring in that area because it's very high. And last but not least is limonite, which I've only had 1 in there. But I also was finding something else. Let's go back to everything on here, and I'll bring back my waypoints as well. And then I had made a note here because I saw some black coal. And usually when you're processing iron, and this is because I have foreknowledge and experience in this area, otherwise I wouldn't probably know this unless I've done some extensive looking in the handbook. But the I've got some black coal over here, and I know that underneath it I had found some fire clay. As I've shown you how you can make fire clay, I'm also going to show you how you can find some. Now usually it's a lot more common in a bauxite biome, but I have yet to actually even see any bauxite in all the exploring I've done, so it's unlikely that I'm going to find more. But you can find some under black coal in some cases. And I think that there's some here. Plus, it wouldn't hurt for me to actually grab some, because I think that there was some, like, some other ores in the area. Maybe I'll find something else down there. Do a little bit of mining and prep for that, because I'm going to need a lot of fire clay. Now, in here I do have some, but keep in mind that it's going to be used in this way, making raw fire clay bricks. As you can see, that'll only make 12 of them at best. And I'm going to need a lot more than that. So... keeping that in mind, I think I'm just going to go and get myself a whole bunch of possible fire clay, I hope. Or at the very least, I can get more fuel. I've got plenty of brown coal, but it doesn't hurt to have like charcoal or black coal, because it's going to be a really high melting point fuel. And as the rift activity is calm, even though it's nighttime and the winter is approaching, I think I'm still going to risk it and head out during the nighttime. Here we go, I finally reached my destination, and I had pinned this before so that it was a little bit easier to find. Now I've unpinned it just so that I don't need to worry about it anymore, but I'm pretty sure I found some fuel down here. Oh, would you look at that, there's a pig. Oh, that could be useful. I also see some weird ominous glow going down there. It's a sow. I really want this back at my base, but I don't think that I'm going to be able to get her all the way back there. Not without a lot of difficulty. I don't really need the meat right now either, so I think I might leave her. Oh, look at that. We've got glowworms. If you're not familiar with them, they're just a pretty thing. They don't actually give you... Excuse me, Piggy. They don't actually give you anything, so don't bother breaking them at this time, because you'll probably be like, oh, I broke it, and I wanted to bring that home. I also hear bad guys with bows, so I'm going to continue on looking elsewhere. Here it is. This is what I was looking for. We've got brown coal and mixed in underneath. We've got some black coal, actually, and above, I guess. But I had seen one piece of fire clay here. So what I'm going to do, put this down, and watch my temporal stability as I progress through here. And I'm going to start kind of digging out a bit of this and see how much fire clay I could potentially amass. Maybe I'll grab a bunch of this black coal while I'm at it, because I've got a whole bunch of brown coal already at home that I can use first for any of the lower priority stuff. And there we go. That probably does all of it for the fire clay, and I should be able to gather everything here. Oh, I might have to go one more. There we go. And it wasn't too bad. I mean, it's just a couple, like 1.5 stone shovels worth. But I think I've got enough to last me for quite a bit. Oh my gosh, yeah I do. I've got a lot of stacks of this, which is great. So each 4 stacks of this equals equals 1 stack of bricks. So that means that I could make like 2 stacks of bricks worth, and then fire up the rest. Of course, my stability is a bit low, but I am going to grab a bit more of this coal, which I haven't actually grabbed any yet, before I head out. Oh, and would you look at that? We've got some lead, which actually I did want some lead. Oh, it's rich as well, because I want to make some windows using that material. So before I go prospecting and or just mining for iron, I think I should probably let you know about what to expect. I mean, once you have it, what do you do with it? There is a bit of a process for it, and you will need lots of fire clay and lots of either charcoal or black coal. And as I have access to black coal, I'm actually going to make that instead, or I'm just going to grab that instead of making the charcoal, because it's, well, currently a lot easier and quicker for me to do this than it is to smelt up a whole bunch of well, logs, because trees, I don't know, I don't have a lot of really big trees nearby, so this is just a lot simpler for me. Not as common though. I will say the black coal is not regularly found in the world, but if you do find it, definitely make note of it. Oh, and as luck would have it, I found one more bit of fire clay. And with my temporal stability getting drastically low and this whole area not being the safest, I think it's time for me to head out. I do know that there's a pig here as well, but I'm not really too bothered with it at the moment. Okay, and I'm back, and thankfully my temporal stability is slowly recovering now. But look at how much goodies I got here. Yeah, there was a little bit of an incursion because things got, rift activity increased while I was down there. But, I mean, I got so much stuff. I got 14 rich chunks of lead. I've got all these stacks of the fire clay and almost 2 stacks of black coal before I ended up having to run out of there. Looks like I even made out with a stack and a half of some sandstone. I might be able to use that later on in some kind of building or something. Alright, there we go. 2 stacks of bricks. I'll keep the rest for myself. There we go. And I can even use some of this coal to write on any kind of paperwork or signs if I have those up and about. Nice. So I now have peat at 900, brown coal to 1100, black coal to 1200, and charcoal to 1300. So it's working out pretty good. And then I'm just going to smash up that galena here, or the lead rather, and see how much I've got of that. It's not too bad. I've got 70. That's enough to make a few ingots worth. So if you notice, it smelts into lead ingots, which then can be used for leaded glass panes. And if I click on that, you need 4 boards plus 1 ingot and some glass. I'll get you 4 of those. And I was kind of thinking I would use some of those around the house at some point. Maybe not right away, but something that I'll definitely be incorporating so that I can have some, I don't know, some light in here that isn't just a torch on the wall. So before I go looking for iron, I think I'm going to have these raw clay bricks smelting. I do need to get some food, that's why I'm running downstairs real quick. So I might do that, get those going in some of those pit kilns real quick. I am going to grab a couple materials though, because I'm going to need a lot of grass in order to bury those properly, and of course my scythe can help make short work of that. And you probably noticed that I now have a whole bunch of small oak trees in the area. Well, that is going to be the solution for some of my sticky needs, because I want to use a lot of sticks for the enclosures like this, but I also am going to need it for a lot of the pit kilns that I'm going to need in order to fire some of this stuff. But oak trees are great for getting sticks, as well as maples. They're not too shabby either. But I'm just going to get a whole bunch right now off of this one, and then probably chop it down later on. Alright, so I've got a whole bunch of grass, a whole bunch of sticks, a whole bunch of bricks, and even a bunch of coal. And I intend on, let's actually take this shield off here so I can see what I'm doing better, putting down enough to fill this up. So I think it's 2 layers you can put in, so it's 12 at a time. And there we go. There we go, and that should do it. I've got a whole lot of grass to put down now. Oh my gosh. Mass quantities. Alright, and that does it for the grass. I have a bit left over. And now for the stick layer. There we go. Everything's set for sticks. Now for the final layer of... I'm actually going to use brown coal, because I have a lot of brown coal mines around here. The higher the temperature that it burns, the better off you're going to be. So if I use black coal, it'd be even faster than if I used this brown coal. Let's get under here as well. And of course, brown coal is going to be faster than peat, and peat is going to be faster than your regular logs, your firewood. So I think that should do it. Now I just need to light everything up. I just realized something. I've got a lot of grass nearby. This is a very flammable thing. I have an idea how to take care of this. So remember those sandstones that I ended up having a lot of? I can still put those down around this, just to make sure no grass grows back. And then I don't need to worry about things burning so easily near these fire pits, basically. Yes, there are prettier ways of going about doing this, but this is going to be my solution for now. There we go. not the prettiest sight, but it definitely will keep the grass around these things from growing any closer. I did it, I believe, 2 blocks from everything, I think. Okay, almost everything. Let's put one here, one there. There we go. And one here. Just so that if there was grass nearby, there we go, it won't catch on fire. I think that it can burn things up to 2 blocks away. So I'm just trying to be extra safe here. I really need to make a better dedicated space for this than what I've got going on. Either way, let's set this on fire. Now you might be wondering why I don't just put this under a roof that I can walk under. Reason being, if I can walk under it, I will walk on top of it. I will set myself on fire. I will be in a lot of pain. So I made sure to just keep it a couple blocks above it so that it's going to stop me from walking into that space, as well as keep it protected from any kind of rain that might be coming in, or other precipitation. There we go. Lots of burning. Let's hope that that doesn't actually catch on fire in the local area and set my wooden house on fire. Anyway, I think that's done for now. Alright, next I'm going to do the following. Basically, I'm going to make a whole lot of ladders. Alright, I'm taking 12 sticks and making a lot of ladders. There we go, I got 40. That, if I double that up, because you know you can like do that every other with these ones, that'll get me down 80 blocks. And if I haven't found anything at the point of 80 blocks, then I'm probably not going to find anything. So, my next step is to actually start looking for the, actually I'm going to leave that open, start looking for iron. And for that I'm going to need my prospecting pick. I'm also going to bring my old copper pickaxe because it's got 36 durability. And this has 156. I figure between the two of them, I should be able to mine down and get a decent amount of iron. This one will be primarily used for just getting through stone. This one will be used for actually mining the iron, assuming that I find it. Once again, I'm just going to try and make the best out of another night. It's medium outside, and I can already hear some of the guys just wandering around. I even heard a bowtorn just die. Maybe it fell off of something. But for now, I'm focused on just doing a little bit of forging before I go exploring. Oh, I see what happened out there. They got a little bit too close to the fire, and I think they got burned up. One prospecting pick, and because I'm not really going to try and kid myself here, I was hoping to get to an iron pick before I ended up wearing through these, and honestly, it won't hurt for me to have a good tin bronze pickaxe as like my backup, so if I do work through both of these, it's no big deal. So I am going to make a tin bronze pickaxe as well, just so I can be sure to get those materials that I need. And with that, I now have all the materials that I'm in need of. And with that, I think I'm ready to go. I'm going to head out here, I believe. Yeah, right there. Traces were found in the area. Now, there may be some other problems like wolves or bears, because as you've seen before, I may have run into them once or twice in the local area, but hopefully it'll be much safer than before. Alright, density search mode. Let's just get a feeling for the general area, make sure that I don't have an even higher chance of finding better materials nearby. Very high hematite, 4.62. And this is very high, 4.82. So it does look like going in that direction seems to be a bit better. Maybe I'll do something a little bit up here and try and get another reading, just to see if there's if it continues to get better. Though it does look like it kind of drops down there. Huh. Maybe I'll even go further out on the shore. Or, you know what? I think I'm just going to dig down right where it's at. Alright, I don't see any predator animals in the immediate vicinity, so I think I'll be alright here. There we go, and this is where I had originally started. So now, just to get a little bit of those ladders on my hotbar. Alright, and now to bring back the prospecting pick so that I can get a node search in this area, because I'm 6 blocks in here, and it's unlikely I'm going to find anything for iron this high up in the world, but you never know what else you might find. Oh my goodness, look at that. I found it. It is close. Lignite, large amounts. Okay. Alright, now that I'm down another... Oh wait, how far down was this? So that was here. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks. I actually want to go further than this. I want to go like another 6 blocks down just to see what the reading is then. Alright, there's 6 blocks down. Whoops, I kind of slid off the ladder. Good thing I've got more. But I can now mine here and see what the reading comes out to be. Oh, that's interesting. Bismuthinite, small amounts. Okay, so I've gone past where that is. So then it's just a matter of a direction. North, south, east, or west. Not necessarily from here. I could keep on getting samples to see where it starts being like minuscule or something. That was this block here, so I'm actually going to put that down. Let's just go up a few blocks here and see if I can get a reading. Now what I'm trying to do is just narrow down where the this node is on a Y level. No ore node nearby. This is so weird. I am not used to finding any kind of iron anywhere near the surface. Actually, before I do this, let's see if there's something over there. Huge amounts. Oh, that's encouraging. And what? Is that it there? That is it. Okay, yep, we found it. I just realized I found lignite this whole time. Lignite. That's why I found it. I wasn't trying to find lignite. I'm trying to find hematite. Oh my gosh, Valen. Sometimes you get a little distracted. Alright, back on the job. I'm finding bismuthinite still, and no sign of iron. But that's okay, because I'm expecting it to be very deep. Most iron usually is. Huh. Of all things, I'm finding trace amounts of cassiterite, which I was having such difficulty with before. Ugh. Still, I am going to continue on searching. Oh, here we go. Finally. I'm getting down to Y level 42, and I've got trace amounts of hematite. Alright. So either I've gone past it, which is unlikely, or I just need to keep going. So I'm going to continue down. Even though my temporal stability is going super crazy fast. Apparently I've gone past it. I'm getting bismuthinite again, so I'm going to go back up and see if I can find some remnant of where this hematite is. Okay, so I need to leave a marker here to tell myself that this is where stuff is. We've got granite. I've got chalk with me. Let's do the chalk. And I can start actually leaving some messages for myself. So, not here or here, but definitely here and here. So I need to head up and out of here because my temporal stability is getting really bad and I'm getting all glitchy. Oh, I'm taking some damage from my temporal instability. This isn't good. I think I'm going to head home briefly, get myself some more food since I'm also out of that, and recharge my stability before I head back out. You know, sometimes the peaceful ride isn't quite so peaceful when you've got temporal distortions going on. Oh my gosh. 10%. I'm almost home where it's really stable. Just a little longer. Oh, okay. Now I just get to watch the walls kind of bleed a little bit while I recover, because thank goodness the wheel is going up. Can I actually get a little bit better going upstairs? Maybe it's a little faster up here, I don't know. Quite often when you're in a temporally unstable area and you're trying to find a better place, height will help as well. I mean, I am rapidly recharging, but it's actually a little bit faster than if I was sitting around at base. Figured I might as well at least speed things up a tiny bit. There are other alternatives. That temporal gear that I got in there, I could potentially use that to recharge this by having a knife in one hand and it in the other. Be aware it's a bit grotesque in some ways what you do with it, but still, you just hold the right click and yeah, you will regain a good percentage of your temporal stability. But I am saving that for setting my respawn point for emergency situations when I need to travel or something like that. At least until I get some more. I'm back, I've recharged, and I have a little bit of an idea, kind of in this direction somewhere. Oh, hematite small amounts. Okay, that means I'm actually getting closer before I was just getting minuscule. So, I'm going to continue on in this direction. Oh, medium amounts. Okay, this is getting more encouraging. So here's the thing though, I've traveled quite a good distance and I was getting small, and now I'm... Well, actually, I'll start off here and say I was getting minuscule. Then I got medium, or small amounts, and now I'm getting medium. But that's quite a distance. I should have run into them by now if they're actually on this Y level. So I'm thinking that they've got to be either up or down. I might look up first. Okay, and mining upwards and doing a check, there's no owner or node nearby, so it's got to be below my feet then. I've got large amounts going down over here. I wonder if I just need to keep on going a little bit more down. I'm gonna kind of make a bit of a stair step here because I'm pretty much out of regular ladders. I've got my retractable ones, but I don't like using those for something that would be like a permanent fixture like this. Hey, this looks promising. I think I've just found what I'm looking for. Iron ore. Medium. Alright, I will take medium. I'm just happy to actually find some. Oh, and it's everywhere. Okay, and usually iron is in very large quantities. Don't worry, I've got a whole nother pickaxe here that I can use. But you can take a long time mining all the iron that you might find out here. So keep in mind that that's not a requirement. You can come back to it, and you may even need to, considering that I'm already down to 51% just as I found it. But at least I found the iron I was looking for, and I can start mining up a whole bunch of this to bring back to base. Alright, so I think I've got more than enough here. I might grab like a piece or two on the way out, but I'm getting really low on my temporal stability, and I need to kind of get out of here before things get really bad. So I will see you guys back at base. Okay, let's see what we got. I got a stack and a half of medium chunks of hematite, and that's 25 units per. Plus I got one of these medium crystallized chunks of hematite, which I might just display that on like a shelf or something. For now, I'd like to have more light in here so it'd actually be more visible, but I think that'll have to do. Now the next step, I'm going to actually smash all this up. I will destroy all of it with my hammer. Kind of. I mean, that used up a lot of durability, but it's going to be well worth it. 127 hits left with this hammer. Oof. Might have to pour myself a new one before the end. But this is going to get me a little bit of iron for me to start with, and I'm pretty darn happy with that. And while I'm waiting for this to recharge while I'm in this local area, I think, what time is it? It's 4:49 in the morning, so I worked through the night. I can go and pick up all of the fire clay bricks that I ended up setting up earlier. Alright, and now I'm going to need a little area for some of this stuff to actually cook. In order to cook the hematite, you're going to need to make some items. Here, I'm going to make a Bloomery chimney, and then there's a Bloomery, or at least the base. Then you just put one on top of the other, and you end up feeding into it the hematite and some coal or charcoal. And in this case, I'm kind of thinking I might take advantage of this little space here. I can start putting these down. I don't know how many I'm really going to need. I kind of like the idea that it's a little bit recessed in the ground, and I can put several of them in place. So let me just build a bunch of these, and then we can go from there. I think I'm only going to need 2, maybe, or 3, maybe 4 of these, but I might just place down a whole bunch. We'll see. So I can never remember if these are affected by rain. Oh, what a pretty sky. But I still like to have some immersion about it. And I'm kind of thinking I'm going to have like a little walkway, stairway that comes into here. Maybe I'll change up the floor from dirt and such like that. I'm also unsure if this stuff's going to catch on fire. So I might also put a little bit of reinforced stuff around it so that it's not quite so flammable. Just because I like to stay a little bit safe. So usually these will take about 120 nuggets, and that's what I've got is 128. I'm holding Shift and Control just to add all these in there. I should have 8 left over. There we go. Now you don't have to have this completely full, but it does make sense to use as much of it as you can, because a lot of the stuff that you get back from the Bloomery base, oh, look at that, 115. Oh, I'm not actually going to like this one, because it would be wasteful. You don't always get all the clay bricks back. You get some of them, a percentage, if you will. And I don't think that I'll need that many. I'll probably get, I'm going to guess, at least 4 to 6 blooms out of each one of these, and a bloom will get me plenty of stuff. I don't know. I'll start. This is just a starter set, but I do need fuel in there. And if you look, when I sneak on it, it says 120 nuggets of hematite. Right click, and I get black coal. 6 is the maximum. You can just keep on right clicking if you want, or you can just hold it, and that's going to be the maximum for each one. And you can't put any fuel in there if you don't have any metals to begin with. But I just max it out, and it should be good to go. And once again, I was talking about making this a bit more immersive. So I'm kind of thinking I'm going to have like a little area here where this is going to be... oops, that's not where I wanted that to be. Where I have a little shelter area for it. Because I don't think I'm going to have more than that. Like more than 8 of these going at a time. I could be wrong, but just having this little area, and then I can just walk into it with this like little stairway, I think, at the front is going to be kind of neat. And as these are about half a block high, that should give enough space that the like smoke and stuff should come out of it. But I guess I do want it to be a little bit taller, so I might just do a bit of that. Alright, I think I've got things squared away now with just a simple covering. I accidentally used some of the debarked logs in here, but oh well. I don't think it'll really detract from it much. It just kind of looks like some of it, I don't know, just scorched off maybe. But this one is not full at all. But these ones, all I need to do is just right click to light and hope that things don't burn down. You know that it's working when you see some smoke coming out the top. And then as it progresses, you'll start seeing this light up even more. So you can see that it's kind of like rosy here. And if I go over here, it's not quite as red. It will actually get quite glowing and reddish as it progresses with this. And this will take some time for it to process into iron, but I have other things that I also need to work on as well. And with that, I think we'll pause and end it here for this episode. Tune in next time for the continuation of Vintage Story Unearthed for 120.